Hey, we're Blenderstyle, and we fiend for the fans. On this episode, Cold Chamber, Dark Days, released in 2002 on Roadrunner Records. Cheers, fellers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Dark days, dark days.
So, Cold Chamber, you guys familiar? They were formed in Los Angeles.
I had the VHS cassette tape for Ozfest 97.
Oh, dude, I would have loved to see that.
We watched the shit out of it, so much so I think I broke. I don't even know what happened to it.
I don't know what happened to it. I bought the DVD of it when it came out later.
They really?
I might still have it somewhere.
Oh, we should find that. And I think Cold Chamber did...
Loco.
Made Loco. And I think that's it. Maybe Big Truck, too.
I think there's just one song on that.
It was definitely Loco.
on the there was like a sampler tape or something we got the next year we went and it had like Big Truck on it.
Yeah, so I was kind of familiar with the Cold Chamber just from that, but I never really got into it.
So this was their last album to feature their original bassist, Rayna Foss.
Right.
She recorded and then quit the band before they toured in support for this at all.
And this is their third album, right?
This is their third album. I would say their second only album. They're only their second album that mattered because chamber music was horrendous.
And then they broke up, and then they broke up, and they got back together for later.
Yeah, so this album to me sounded like the band breaking up, which was cool. But so Nathan, are you familiar with Cold Chamber?
Chamber of Coals.
Cold Chamber's like kind of been that band that's like always been around.
Mm-hmm.
At times they were like a highlight, and other times kind of a joke, you know?
Yeah.
So,
have you ever listened to like a whole Cold Chamber album?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I ever have. Like, I'm familiar with a couple songs here and there, but I just didn't like it enough to ever like go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So like this came out in 2002, and like in 2002, I was like listening to like punk, hardcore, Slayer, death metal. Like this was not on my, like the kids that listen to this were like listening to like
Korn.
Well, I liked Korn. And you know what's crazy is I don't know why I didn't like this band, because this band sounds like Korn.
Yeah.
Very groovy, very heavy guitar driven, you know.
To me, this is like the epitome of new metal.
Yeah, this is definitely new metal, I would say. There's a little goth rock kind of stuff feel to it.
This is kind of weird because they did their first album was very new metal. Their second album was really gothic, and then this was kind of a mix of the two. Probably their heaviest album, I think, by far, up until Rivals came out.
Rivals, 2015 or so.
Yeah, 2015.
I feel like at the time it probably still is my favorite Cold Chamber album. I don't know. I pre-ordered the Rivals album when it came out, and I got the cool shirt that you guys are always like, oh, it's a dope Cold Chamber shirt.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered, motherfuckers. But
it is a cool cover.
I don't know that I've ever listened to the album all the way through.
I feel like it's a continuation of this album, though.
And it might be, but I think at the time when it came out, I was super excited to see Cold Chamber come back out with something and put all their BS aside and finally get back together, because I always thought they were more influential to that music scene than Korn was. I just don't think they ever got the credit they deserved. And we've talked about this before in the Korn episode. I talked about how I thought Cold Chamber was a better band than Korn, and I still do.
You think Cold Chamber is better than Korn?
Oh, for sure.
I would disagree with like 100%.
I don't even like Korn that much, and I disagree with you.
Yeah, because you guys are stupid.
No, I mean Korn with
you're not wrong.
Korn musician-wise is better than this band.
I think Jonathan Davis could write better lyrics than Dez could back then.
Dez can't write lyrics.
I don't honestly, and I don't follow Devil Driver all that much, so I can't say whether he found his groove in lyric writing, but I'm pretty sure these were just ideas he wrote down in a notebook and repeated them over and over until the song was over.
I feel like his voice.
I think you should give him more credit.
Yeah, well, and also I think his voice also is an instrument within this band. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
The way he uses his vocals and stuff, and I think that's maybe a little more important than the lyrics.
Exactly.
And I think he probably probably knew that within this band, you know?
Well, I think that was also a thing with new metal. New metal wasn't really known, at least from my perspective, known for like
Their lyrical
a lot of
content.
lyrics, and there's a lot of repetition of lyrics in some new metal bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't very.
I mean, Korn was lyrically good. Limp Bizkit was lyrically good.
Mhm.
but
I mean-
Korn is, it's hard. They're credited for inventing or being the first new metal band, or at least starting the genre, which I totally agree with. But they're like kind of a deeper band. Limp Bizkit was like rap influence, which is heavy.
I
lyrics.
just think lyrically that they came across obviously a little better.
Korn lyrics are clearly way better.
So,
No doubt.
another thing about that is, like the first Coal Chamber album was super. I mean, Big Truck. It's a song about a truck.
Yeah, but that song's fucking
But it's
bad.
and I get what Nate's
The way
saying.
he does his
The
vocals and
the
stuff.
voice on it, his vocals are just as good as the rest of the instrumentation for that
Mhm.
song, and so the lyrics don't really matter so much. But I went back when I was doing my notes for this and read through some of the lyrics on the Rivals album, and I didn't listen to any of the songs, just kind of read through the lyric. There's actual like thematic stuff going on there. So
Yeah, he's obviously improved.
he's improved. I makes me want to kind of go
He's
back
a
and
great
listen to it.
vocalist.
Oh, for sure.
Devil Driver, even, I think he kills it.
Yeah, he does a bunch of different like vocal layering, but each layer is a different style voice that he does on the background on this, which is really cool.
I get the sense that he's like a hard worker.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
just
I
what
would
he's
agree.
done for the music scene with his Oracle management thing. I mean, what they got Cradle of Filth signed under their management.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
that's why that a couple years when we went and watched Cradle of Filth down in L.A. Oh, you didn't go with us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when Nathan and I went to L.A. and watched Cradle of Filth, it was the signing party or the whatever for his management when Cradle of Filth signed with them, and then they came back like a year later and we went down there again and watched them.
Wow.
But yeah, he does a lot for the music scene, and I agree with you. He's a hard worker.
But vocally, like you guys are saying, it sticks out as like a major component of this. Like everything's down tuned, and there's like simple riffage and stuff going on. But he's like all over this vocally.
Well, and even their first album that was more new metal, I think that's what made Coal Chamber stick out to me over other new metal at the time was his vocals. Like you didn't have a lot of new metal doing the harsh vocals that Dez did, which was cool. I mean, the new metal was that traditional squealy guitar just making sounds and stuff, and then the drum and the bass were driving the rest of the music. But you didn't hear a lot of like harsh vocals.
Yeah, there's like guitar center drum beats on this.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, the drums are definitely unique in like how they're played. The guitars have that Coal Chamber groove, man. It's not Korn. It's no other new, but it's a Coal Chamber groove. And I love that about it. It's heavy as shit, man.
It is
like,
heavy
this
for not
record's
having a lot of
pretty
stuff going
freaking
on.
Fun, man.
It is.
I think the songwriting's kind of weak, dude. Like it feels like a lot of the parts just don't really make sense. So it's like we wrote this part, let's put those two
Let's
parts
mash them together.
Which again, I think is kind of new metal.
Yeah.
Right, that's pretty common of new
they
metal.
don't have that transitional bridge in between there to
They're
kind
just
of
like
flow them together.
part. And we talked about this on our Counting Crows episode. I think if you remove the vocals from this, it's just not that good. Like if you replace Dez with a different like vocalist that wasn't as skilled, it would suck real bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
I mean, so you don't get like Sepultura roots in this?
I do on some of the drum beats, some of the drum
Like
stuff.
the guitar rhythms and stuff.
It has
like
that
you know
sonic
what I mean?
sound
I mean,
where-
that's a wide stretch, but I'm just trying to kind of throw something out there that like
Roots is way deeper in that with like all the tribal elements to it. It's more groove metal, and there's Roots is like a thrash groove metal sprinkled with new metal like production. But there's like better guitar playing. You know what I mean? Like Attitude has way better guitar playing than this.
I feel like the shining points of Coal Chamber are the drums and the bass, though. I think the guitar is like kind of an afterthought. It's thrown in there for pace and things like that, and to add that element of like strangeness and weirdness and disorientation or whatever. But Dez's vocals, pretty much carry it. But if you took Dez out and just had that, I could still listen to this with just the drums and the bass because Mike's drumming, he sounds like he's going to go through the skins every time he hits the damn drums.
He does play hard, but it doesn't.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
It's straightforward,
That's
but that's
what I
what
love
makes
about
it.
it.
Yeah, that's what makes it
I
so
like
good.
watching him like that video when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, I could play this. I felt like.
then you try, you're like, damn it.
No, I can't really play it. I had an epiphany about Cold Chamber because I went back and listened to their other stuff.
Uh-huh.
You've always said chamber music sucks.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
His vocals, like, he kind of went more melodic and not as heavy.
Yeah, I think that was really influenced by Sharon and Ozzy at the time. I think
And
I read
then
some
they have
interviews about that.
Cover of Shock the Monkey with
Oh,
Ozzy, and
God.
it sucks. This, dude, this is the epiphany I had about Cold Chamber. Dez fucking carries this band. If it weren't for him, this band would suck, dude. He is 100%. He's taking these shitty songs that are like poorly written and like making them good with just excellent vocal performance.
Yeah.
I feel for this guy because I feel like the rest of the band's like falling apart, and he's just like, please fucking do your part.
I feel like this is definitely what happened.
and
Right?
it
Yeah,
might
and,
be,
and
because,
if
I mean,
you watch their live performances, like near the end of their career, he's like visibly pissed off
Oh yeah.
because the other guys are like on drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty-
he's just like, please, I just want to be a rock star.
He's like, let's just do our job. We can go do whatever we want after.
And we
the
have
whole-
a Devil Driver poster right there. And after that, he went on to do Devil Driver, and he got some guys that can actually like keep it together. And it's
some groove metal.
It's a
way
fucking-
better band.
Yeah,
But at the same time, to touch where you were at, when Cold Chamber got back together, you know, everybody got their shit together and they finally got clean or whatever, and they were like, oh hey, let's do this, and they got together and they did their thing and they recorded another album. When the time came and Dez was like, all right, I'm going back to Devil Driver, the rest of the band didn't say, oh, we'll try and find another singer to continue on. They're just like, okay, we're done.
well. And did any of these
because
guys
Dez
do it?
carries it.
Well, exactly, because they know that Dez carries this
Well,
band.
did they do any other bands? Did those guys go and play in other
Yeah,
bands?
they're in.
Yeah, they have some
they're in
other
other
bands.
stuff, I believe. Like Mike, or no, the guitar player.
Meegs?
Yeah, I know he does other stuff too.
Yeah.
I know their bass player Rayna went missing recently.
That was a rumor, I guess.
Yeah,
That
all right.
her daughter posted something on Instagram saying, like, no, she's been in contact with her the whole time, that she doesn't know how it started.
And they showed pictures of her, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. She really did find
Time
Christ.
has not been kind. That's some dark days. Wowza.
So Megs went on, he did a couple other bands.
That's
back
what
in
I
the day.
mean. Like, these other guys aren't like, they're just not in it to win it like
I
Dez
think-
is.
I think two people in this band are music centric. I think Megs is really into music, but he's not into like making it big. He wants to do this experimental sound and just all kinds of different stuff. Where Dez really just wants to be all in with the music, it feels like. And it shows with, you know, the way that he does Devil Driver, the way that he does his management group. I mean, everything he posts
He has
on
a clothing
Instagram.
company and stuff like that called Sun Cult,
Yeah.
which he does with Randy Blythe from
Mhm.
Lamb of God and everything, which is
Yeah.
like a surfing
Yeah,
brand and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, he's
he's
like a
got
He's
his-
very
surfer.
business oriented. He's very serious, and I would agree with you 100% that Dez like carries this in the sense of like keeps Cold Chamber together,
Mhm.
but like musically, like that groove is pretty fucking sick,
Oh, yeah.
bro.
And then
Like dude, Fiend, to open up your album with Fiend,
Fiend is a fucking banger, dude.
Oh, for
fuck,
sure.
dude.
Uh,
And then Glow,
Glow's damn good.
So I don't think
something told me.
Hmm.
Alienate me, dude. I just wrote bounce next to it because I'm like, fuck yes. And then friend, I feel like he wrote it for everybody in that band.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
He's like, fuck you guys.
this is the sound of a band breaking up, and like I've never read an interview where he said any of these songs were about any of the band, but just knowing what the band was going through at the time and
Has to
reading
be,
between
right?
the lines, you're like,
That's
oh,
what I got.
seriously, like that's what I got from this, and it's like, how brazen do you have to be to go to the band and be like, hey, I got all the lyrics for the new album, guys, let's go record
Just
it.
talk shit.
And he sounds pissed off
Oh,
on
for
this.
sure.
His vocal delivery is just sinister, dude. It's almost like death metal
Oh yeah,
at times. How like fucking brutal it is.
You
Yeah.
could see like going to Devil Driver was such an easy
transition.
And I like that
and they
he didn't-
haven't always done everything good either. Devil Driver has
yeah.
like maybe like 2 or 3 good albums.
Well, in their
Yeah.
first couple albums was the same thing. The lyrics were lacking on it. It was just really, really repetitive or whatever.
but his
Nah.
vocals
have always been on point.
I don't think his lyrics are very good. I don't
I
think
like
his
No, I
Death
don't
lyrics-
Over
either.
California. I think that's a cool song.
Yeah, I just don't think he's known for, and I don't think I don't think he's trying to be that guy either.
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to like.
I
write
think
an
he's just trying
epiphany
to
every time.
deliver
Yeah,
vocally and like solid.
performance
Yeah,
and-
get that performance
Yeah.
sound. You know.
So I mean, so what would you guys rate it?
I give it a 3.3 out of 5. I feel like this should suck, but it doesn't because Dez is really saving the day.
Mm-hmm.
If it weren't for him, I would think this is a really, really bad band, but he fucking saves it with his vocal performance alone.
Yeah,
He, like I said before, he's taken not so good songs and like willing them to be good with his like his work ethic and just trying to like get the best out of this garbage.
I didn't really think of it that way, but he definitely carries it for sure.
Yeah, so for me it's a 3.3 out of 5. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. I like it.
Dude, this is a banger, bro. This is a 4.0 for me, man. This is a kick-ass record. Like, I'll listen to this tomorrow at work.
and that's the thing. It works great as like something you could just you put it in, you get stuff done.
Yeah,
Or
it's
whatever.
not like, the greatest thing ever, but just the fact that it's this fun, dude, it's a 4.0.
It's fun. I think I really dissected it, and I was like, "What are they even playing, dude?"
That's like dissecting a sock, dude. There's not much in it.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, like,
Maybe you run into a foot, but it's a dead foot.
yeah, well, like, I don't know.
Unless you're dissecting a sock that's on somebody.
Hmm.
Like, what are you doing? You're like taking this sock apart.
Casey, your pick.
So yeah, my pick.
I just thought about that. It's kind of funny. Sorry.
My pick, I gave it a 3.7 out of 5. I'm with Nathan and I'm with you. I think going off of memory, this is my favorite Coal Chamber album. And had I listened to this just in the background doing stuff, it probably would have been a 4.2 maybe, because I love this album. But I think at the same time, I'm with you, Matt. I feel like I dissected this too much and I might have like spoiled it for myself a little bit because I started really like digging in, like what's going on here? What's going on? And then just
But that's like saying Austin Powers is the greatest movie ever or something. You know what
isn't.
I mean? Like, you
I mean, it
can't
is.
say that.
I mean, it isn't, but it is, but it's not. No,
You know what I mean? Like, you get this
Yeah.
is like stuff that you gotta like take it for what it is.
no, and I do,
right?
and I think
It's like chocolate covered cherries.
And maybe it's
like-
because I never, like,
You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, this is gonna be amazing,
And then it's not that-
maraschino or whatever, and then you bite in here, it's not that great. But I still get chocolate. I still get cherries.
I never really got into this when it, like, came out or earlier.
yeah,
And so I'm kind of going into this fresh, and maybe that's part of it.
maybe.
You know, I don't really have a nostalgia for
Yeah,
this.
and I think I do have nostalgia. I think just I'll still listen to this, and it's still probably going to be my favorite. But I am going to go back and listen to Rivals now and actually give it a chance because I feel like I didn't when it came out.
It's not better. This isn't better than Corn, though. That's crazy.
This is 100 times better than Corn to me.
Mm.
Hey, so let us know what you think. Coal Chamber, Dark Days, great, bad? Let us know. And do you think Jonathan Davis is a better vocalist? Not lyricist, vocalist.
Yes.
Leave the comments below. Tell Nathan he's dumb for thinking that.
I guess so.
We're Blenderstyle. See you next week.
Blend for the fans and Blender for the style.